Welcome back to Mental Wellness Evolution. I'm Jeff, and thanks for being here. Today, we're going to start a series called Tools That I Believe Everybody Should Have in Their Toolkit. Okay, we're going to run through a whole group of different tools and skills that I think are very important and that a lot of people could benefit from adding to their own kit. Okay, so first and foremost, we're going to start with one of my favorite tools, the journal. Okay, journals are such a valuable tool to add to your life. They are useful for a variety of reasons that we're going to go over in this video, and it's something that I suggest everybody should have, everybody should utilize, and it's something that I promise will offer you benefits in your life. Okay, so first and foremost, journals are useful for tracking our patterns. Okay, when we want to go about the process of change, and especially getting into the subconscious aspect of ourselves and maybe those things that are just lurking below our conscious awareness, tracking our patterns is the way to identify them. This is an easy way for us to do at the end of every single day. We can spend a little bit of time in reflection, start looking at some of the things that we did throughout that day. What were the behaviors we did? What were the habits we demonstrated? What thoughts kept me stuck? What emotions was I fixating on? And this allows us to do this over a period of time. And as we get, a week or two down the road, we can go backwards now and start looking through each day, and we'll be able to identify some of our patterns very quickly. This in turn will allow us to formulate plans for how we're going to go about changing them. Now, self-awareness is always the key to unlocking the door to change. It's fundamental to understanding what aspects of ourselves we need to work on. But if we're not aware of these things, we can't change them, okay? And allowing us to track our patterns on a day-to-day basis is such a useful tool for this process, okay? Second of all, journals are just great for unloading on sometimes. I mean, I have one on my phone, and it's a day-to-day thing. Sometimes we're going through the day and we've got a lot on our mind, and we just, you feel like a volcano that's about to explode. And sometimes just, checking out, go sit in the bathroom for a few minutes, pull out your journal, and just bang, unload it, get it out of you, spew it all over the place, say everything that's going on inside of your head, just get it out, get it out, get it out. I find that this is such a cathartic process for myself. It's something that I've utilized more than one time in my life, and it's such a great thing to have in your back pocket. And that's why it's so useful. Like, you can have a journal that you can write in, and that's a great thing too, don't get me wrong, but having that one on your phone, because we all take our phones everywhere we go, that allows us to have it with us at a moment's notice where we can just kind of get everything going on, get out what's going on inside of us, and just let it be on a piece of paper. Okay, so that's another great use for a journal. Another great thing you can add to your journal is just a daily gratitude list. A couple things that we're grateful throughout the course of our day. I start my day every single day with this. It's just, kind of keeping things into perspective. And I know in like some of the new age and kind of circles, they like, oh, gratitude was just you change your life. And it's not quite that simple, but it is good sometimes, guys, to just take a step back and just look at some of the blessings and some of the things that we do have in our lives. And taking a moment to express, a little bit of grace first thing in the morning is a good way to kind of get yourself and your perspective shift, because it's very easy to get caught up in the chaos of the world and what's going on around us and all of these other things that we don't sometimes kind of stop to just be like, man, I've got money in the bank, I've got food to eat, I've got a roof over my head, a bed to sleep in, I've got friends, I've got family, I've got things that I love. And it just helps put a little bit more perspective into your day-to-day life, and it helps you keep kind of centered and grounded and with some of the things that you do actually have, okay? And then number 4, I love to just do it to start my day, because it's a great way to kind of get out what's going on inside of yourself, offer yourself a little perspective, say where you're at, help you kind of set the table for your day. You can get into maybe some scheduling. You can see what you've got to get done for the day. This kind of is going to allow you a little bit of space where you can just kind of, I don't know, what do I got to do today? Put it in order, prioritize what needs to get prioritized, see the things you'd like to get done. Now, obviously, preparing ourselves for curveballs and things that might come up for us in our lives throughout the course of our day-to-day process. But it allows us to kind of just start the day on an even keel. Maybe you woke up in a bit of a mood, you have something on your mind. It really allows you to just kind of get in there, get it out of you, put it down on paper, look at it, assess. Maybe you can go over what is going to go on throughout the course of the day. You can say, okay, I have a meeting with this person who kind of drives me bananas. How would I like to prepare for that? Write it all down, and just kind of gets you out prepared to go about and attack your day. Okay, guys? Another great tool for this that I mentioned, it's like not just for tracking patterns, but it's also just for reflection and introspection. You know, this is our private world. This is something that is inherently yours. And this is why I like the cell phone version of this, because I mean, I live by myself, so it's not an issue for me to have a journal by myself. But if you live in a house with people or whatever, and you just want to keep your own thoughts private to yourself, kind of what's going on inside of you, some of the things you're struggling with, and all those types of things, this is your own private world. This is a place where you can go and really get into yourself and start digging in a little bit deeper and asking yourself some of the questions and acknowledging the things you're struggling with without having to worry about the world or the judgments of others or anything else that's going on around you. You just can kind of get into your own little space, and you can just kind of think and ponder and go introspective and see some of the things that are going on inside of you. And this will work hand in hand with learning to track your patterns and those type of things, guys. Okay, so it's great for some daily reflection that ties in to tracking your patterns. Okay. And one of the final things I will say that this is good for is just to do shadow work. And this kind of ties in with the introspection. And this is just, you know, asking ourselves some of those fundamental, deeper questions with a way for us to understand ourselves. You know, you put them down onto paper. You can go on the internet. There's books you can get that'll offer you great shadow work prompts. And like shadow work prompts look something like, whose life am I living? Who is that inner critic inside of my head? Am I living up to somebody else's expectations or my own? These type of things, like who am I? Why am I here? Those type of deeper questions and that deeper understanding that we're going to gain within ourselves. And we do this in our journal, again, because it's our own private world. We do that work to kind of gain a little bit better of an understanding of ourselves. This ties directly in with the introspective part of this, okay, guys? They all kind of go hand in hand, okay? But this is why I think a journal is so useful. These are 5 really good reasons. There are obviously probably more that I'm just not going to get into today. I want to keep these videos nice and short and sweet so people can just kind of begin to ponder. But for my money, this is one of the most useful tools that I've added to my toolkit over the years. I utilize it daily, sometimes multiple times a day, just to kind of go through things, get things out, think about myself. What do I want to do? Maybe do a little bit of shadow work or ask questions or dig deeper into an emotional reaction or something I have, free of judgment, where I can just kind of go inside myself, go into my own little world, write down, think, ponder, what do I have to think about? What's going on inside of me? How do I go about this? And that I can keep within my own kind of, you know, my own psyche. And it's my own little thing that nobody else can kind of get into or anything else like that. Okay. So consider adding a journal to your day-to-day repertoire, add it to your toolkit. I promise you, this is one of those tools that you're going to want to have because, again, as I said in this video, it's useful for a variety of different reasons. Have a great day, guys.